Now, also in 1950, we have Pollock's Lavender Mist. Now, his mural-sized drip paintings met with mixed reaction when they debut in New York in 1948, and sales were dismal initially. And critical reviews offered skepticism or very mild appreciation. Yet, only 1 year later, after that Life magazine article features Pollock, his work moves from darkness into the darling light of the art world. The size of his paintings, by the way, again, is meant to be immense. It's meant to be something that you can immerse yourself into. Properly viewed from 3 to 6 feet, you won't be able to see anything surrounding them. So, following Pollock's move from dark horse to darling, we see the powerful art critic Clement Greenberg insist that Pollock's world represented a new, authentic American art, a shift in the art world, and Pollock's success achieved over a period of years at making gesture, line, texture, and composition the very subject of his canvas. And what else is interesting here is that, like an ancient cave painter, he will actually sign Lavender Mist in the upper left-hand corner at the top of the canvas with his handprints. Now, when we look at a detail of Lavender Mist, you'll see there's something different here. It seems as if he's primed the canvas, or maybe there are enough layers that we start to see a lot more texture here, a lot more impasto. And that texture is clearly visible when you're standing at the appropriate distance from it. What this is going to do is it's going to create one more sensation, one more detached sensation, detached from the physical world, in which you can read your own thoughts, your own subconscious. Though the work contains no lavender, the webs of black, white, russet, orange, silver, and stone blue industrial paints radiate this sort of mauve glow that inspired Greenberg, Pollock's stalwart champion, to suggest the descriptive title, which Pollock will accept. Now, one other thing I want to deal with. I regularly hear from students how paintings, especially like Pollock or like the color field paintings we're going to look at, well, anyone can do those. And that's a misunderstanding of art in the 20th century. As we talked about early on, when we get to the middle of the 19th century and the end of the 19th century, cameras have taken over representation. So simply creating something in a photorealistic style is no longer good enough to be known as an artist. Now you have to represent something that the camera cannot capture. And in the terms of surrealism, or when we deal with gestural abstraction here with Pollock, they're trying to bring up the unconscious. So why is Pollock famous for this and you aren't? Well, first, Pollock was the first to do it, and secondly, it's the time frame. In the 1950s, the United States is particularly optimistic. We've just won the war. We are at the height of manufacturing. Wages are going to triple between 1945 and 1955. This is a really good time in the United States, and therefore people are willing to look inside themselves. It's the same as the late 90s and early 2000s when the economy was so good and unemployment was so low, and people were willing to watch reality TV. They were willing to watch sort of what they would do under certain circumstances. Well, we see the same thing with Pollock. He is speaking to the society. He is bringing up something that the society is looking for, a way to look inside themselves, to explore something that they're willing to do because they're optimistic. Now, if the economy were really bad in 1950, I can guarantee you that Pollock would not be accepted. And when we look at times when the economy is rough, we tend to see things like American regionalism, where it becomes more representational. So the key here is not only that Pollock was the first to use these methods to capture his movements on canvas, but he's doing so at the right time. If you're going to be an artist, you must find a way to speak to the society. If you do not, you will be forgotten. And that is why we are looking at Pollock these days and not at some other artists.